October 25th. I'm excited. Hey guys, welcome back to The Chase. It is Friday, October 25th. And we had a big weather front come through Iowa yesterday. We got some much needed rain. Got about 1.5 inches of rain down here and about 1 inch up at the home farm. Got a brisk northwest wind. It's about 60 degrees. Pressure's on the rise. And it is here. My favorite time of year. I just absolutely loved this last week of October. Pre-rut in the Midwest. Bucks are looking for those first available does, and it's a great time to lay eyes on a mature buck. And one of the funnest parts about it is that they're callable at this time. They're usually feeling pretty aggressive, so I have Monday and Tuesday off, so I'm starting a 4-day stretch of vacation and hunting. And I don't have a particular buck that I've got my heart set on. I've got some bucks I think I would shoot, but I'm gonna be bouncing around between the river farm, home farm, and this new farm. I really want to spend some time on this new property and try to learn it, see how the deer use it. I still think a good buck's gonna show up here. I'm gonna still do a little bit of doe harvest and then just kind of bounce around and have fun and learn stuff and try to lay eyes on some of these mature bucks we got pictures of. So we're on the east side of the property in this little bow plot. And I actually hung this set earlier in the week. I just love this spot. It's a spot that I picked out the first time we walked the property. There's an open gate gap here, old cattle area, but we're just tight to bedding. We got the creek travel corridor. We've got the edge of the CRP, the mowed lane, and then we've got deer crossing in this narrow spot in the timber up to the other field. So we're near a lot of bedding, and this northwest wind just blows right back where we walked in, right back to where we parked. It's one of those spots where the thermals could get you going down to the creek, so it's nice to hunt it on a kind of a higher wind night. Bucks we could lay eyes on, Aries, and then there's a couple other mature bucks in here. And I'm still fingers crossed that we might get a roamer. I've been kind of thinking about the best ways to structure these chase videos that include multiple days of hunting. And my current plan moving forward is kind of open up the week. Obviously, we've got 4 days of hunting that's going to go into this video. And then as we're wrapping up our hunting, I'm going to look ahead to the next week in the weather and the conditions and, give you guys my thoughts on what to expect in the coming week. And so we always foreshadow the coming week and hopefully have some predictability about what to experience. So mine's going to come out next Thursday, looking ahead to the following week. So that'll be at the end of the video if you guys are interested in that. We are down to our last few minutes, and it was a beautiful night. Nothing came into the plot. I love the puzzle of a new property, so I'm very curious, what trail they were on and what they were up to. I have to go check that out at some point, but wind is switching to a northeast overnight, so I think we're going to go to the river bottom, see if we can't get Gavin on old Tony. Gonna to think about tonight, and we'll see you guys tomorrow. Well, it's Saturday, October 26th. We are on the River Bottom Farm. It's about 38 degrees. There's essentially no wind. We are in the Poseidon set, one of my favorite sets. And it might look a little funny because I'm in the other stand.
A little switcheroo action. Yeah. It feels weird.
It feels weird. I didn't even bring my bow. I'm gonna run the camera. See if Gavin can get an arrow in Tony.
That'd be awesome.
Old fat Tony.
That's fat boy.
We're looking forward to the morning. We're gonna see what shows up.
Let's have some fun.
That's right. There's 3 right there in front of us.
Yeah.
It's about 10 o'clock, so we are going to wrap it up. It's been slow for the last hour, but ended up having a pretty decent sit.
2015 ALOS, something like that.
Yeah. I saw 2 little bucks back behind us near the cottonwood thicket, feeding in some of the turnips back there, but the wind is going to switch straight out of the east, so I'm not 100% sure where we're going to go sit. We'll see you guys this afternoon. So this is last night at the home camera. Still works. Well, guys, we have made the move, and we had a little cameraman switch out. I did so poorly this morning that Gavin said I'm not allowed to film anymore.
That's what happens when you have one B-roll clip on the camera.
I did good. But guys are working on the main show for Monday, and so switched out. With the east wind, I was thinking about coming out to this 28-acre farm anyway, so we're in the red night blind on this 28-acre farm, and it's one of the few blinds I have set up for an east. Tiki and Tony do come across the river to this farm. They're the 2 most mature bucks that are run around up here, and then there's always random other deer. We each have our bows. Will not pass a good opportunity at a doe, even though with the decoy that those usually lack. But we will see. Hopefully a big mature buck pops up and comes destroy this decoy. We're looking to have a good time. We'll see what we see. Is that velvet buck?
Yep. It's another buck. Pretty April. Pretty deer. That's a tall deer.
Is he mature?
I don't recognize a deer.
I know.
Whipped his head up.
I counted at least 6 scorables on his faces. Like,
Oh, did you?
there's a lot of stuff down there.
Man, that's crazy.
We're also having a debate whether this deer actually had a split too or not.
Yeah, I could not see it, but anyway, that was it made the hunt. I mean, I don't know. I got kind of excited there for a second. All of a sudden, you could hear something right here. Right side, I think I just heard a grunt, and it's the other velvet buck. I've been getting pictures of 2 velvet bucks, one on this property and one on the river bottom, and we filmed the
the narrower one the night I shot Vinny, and then this is the other one. I mean, it's October 26th, and these bucks are still in velvet. I mean, and then also makes you wonder about their aggressiveness. So we're October 26th, and they look over the decoy, and they don't even care. They're just eating beans. And, you know, the second buck, Rye's peeking out over the curtain right here. He's like, another buck, and we get him in the binos. He's only at 40 yards. And from the side, you know, he's at 8, but you can see all the trash coming off his bases, and neither one of us recognized that deer. But assessing him is like, I think he's a 5-year-old. I think he's mature, 4+. It's hard to say much more than that, but pretty good sway back on him, big belly on him. It looks like a mature deer.
I knocked my arrow.
Yeah. And I was like, man, if you're feeling it, have at it. And anyways, good hunt. Good to have Rye back in the blind with me for a hunt.
It was a good
fun. Yep. He's been working hard editing, so he and Gavin have been switching back and forth. But anyway, we'll be back out.
You could bet you go down the north line and park by the natives. There's a hunter. Yeah, I can hide the truck down there pretty well. True wind. Get some jerky? Well, it's Sunday, October 27th. And Gavin and I are set up for the afternoon hunt. Right now it's 63 degrees, so it's really not as bad as they originally forecasted. We have a south-southeast wind and clear bluebird skies. We are set up on the north plot at the river farm. I did not hunt this stand at all last year, and it's one of the, if not the first permanent set I put up on this farm. Got an acre of these beautiful rut greens with cold climate, and the view from up here is awesome. Main issue with this tree at this time of year is there's not much cover in it, so we have to use the trunk. We have to use the trunk to kind of hide behind. There's been a bunch of does visiting the spot, and there's a couple mature bucks. Moss could be right here. We've seen him right here before. Gavin was gonna bring his bow and shoot Stubbs if Stubbs came out. And we whiffed on that one. So close. We were transferring all of his gear into my truck and left the bow leaning up against the tire of his truck, not my truck. I'm not gonna hesitate to bust some does. I still need to shoot some does out here. And they've been pretty active on this in the farm. We've been set up maybe 20 minutes, so we have about an hour and a half to go. Be kind of a short hunt. That's a pretty buck. challengers of this stand. The Ozonics helped us out tonight, though. They all walked like, I mean, they're 25 yards downwind with thermals falling. The first 4 or 5 got past us. I was able to get a shot at this one in the lane. It's good to continue to get some does down.
Let's go.
That's one way to clear the field.
Yeah.
Looked like it was a good shot.
We need to name this guy, Gav.
Samson. Right off the dome.
Samson. I kind of like it. Well, it is Monday, October 28th, the afternoon hunt. Gavin and I have made the move to the home farm, and we had a super exciting hunt this morning.
Something like that.
Gavin was able to have success on the river bottom farm on a mature 5.5-year-old 8, big-bodied 8-pointer, actually the same one that Vinny walked off the night I shot Vinny. That buck that was thrashing all the trees and pawing the ground and everything. So he's been running around in there a lot. We knew we had a good chance of encountering him in there if we sat in there enough times, and it was a really fun hunt. That's going to be on a future main show episode here coming up before too long. But yeah, it's nice to have success with the bow in hand.
Dude, yeah, felt great. It had a sweet hunt. The shot was good. Great blood trail. Once in a wild blood trail.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. Anyway,
yeah,
hunt. Really had a good time.
Yeah, we saw some really the first good rutting activity of the year. We had right as the sun came up, we had a buck that looked like he was tending a doe, and then later, I think that doe ended up being in heat because we had 4 or 5 bucks over there, and one of them was a big 4-year-old chasing, grunting, roaring, making all kinds of racket. Other bucks kind of cruising around. So that was some of the first real actual rut activity, pre-rut activity that we've seen this year. So that's pretty cool. We tonight, this wind is 18 miles per hour. We're in a cut bean field. We're not too far from the cherry tree. Actually, when we've hunted the cherry tree before, we've seen a lot of deer crossing right here. It's kind of the bottleneck of the field. Marty is the main buck that I'm looking to see in here. He's a 6.5-year-old, real heavy 10. We actually brought the decoy up here, but I forgot the stakes, and it's so windy. I ended up just putting one of his legs in the V of the trailer. This redneck's on a trailer blind, so I've got him facing into the bushes right here. Maybe like he's tending a doe or looking at a bedded doe, and he's got one leg in the V of the trailer and kind of leaning on the trailer. That way he can't blow over. And there's actually quite a few bucks in the area on this farm, so it could be interesting just having a decoy in here and being the time of year it is. So we're going to sit back and enjoy the afternoon and see what we see.
Let's go.
Let's go. Those are all adults, yeah. Oh, there's a buck. Oh, yeah, one's brand new shot. There's another buck. There's a decent one coming around the corner. Right. 8 with the split too. This dude's coming at Decoy.
Well, that ended up being an awesome sit. Those bucks were super interested in the decoy, and we had 2 of them circle around to 5 yards in front of his face, just right here outside the blind window. And it's kind of neat because the top of the hill rolls down, so this blind is a little bit low. So when they're out at 20 yards, they're eye level with you. And so it's just a unique experience to have that many deer just right in your face. And they weren't that shy of the decoy, even the does. We had 10 plus does out in the field tonight. A lot of them came to 40 yards, and then a number of bucks. We had kind of deer on all sides of us, so it was pretty cool activity, posturing up, establishing the hierarchy. It's just that time of year where even with 70-degree temps and all the things we mentioned at the beginning of the video, still a lot of activity and a really fun hunt. Tomorrow we will be back out. Not sure where yet, but we'll see you guys then. Good morning. It is Tuesday, October 29th, and it is warm. Hopefully the warmest day of the rut is today because it is terrible. It's 70 degrees walking in this morning. The high is 83, 84 degrees today. We've got a couple does at 50 yards right now. But Gavin and I are down at the River Bottom Farm. We're in the head of the slough, which is it's one of my favorite spots to sit. It's kind of a tough spot to sit because you're in the middle of the neck of the peninsula. So you end up with deer on all sides of you. But we access through the slough, and we got a south-southwest wind, which is just perfect. It blows it right back up the slough. They're just giving up the one spot. And we can basically see the river, both directions. So anything coming in and out of the peninsula, we can generally see. There's a number of bucks in here to hopefully get footage of. We filmed moss out of this stand last year. And it's just a fun place to sit. It's a time of year where the conditions don't matter quite as much. And it's just fun to be in a tree. I've got to work the next couple of days, so we're just out here having a good time. It's supposed to be really windy today, 20 plus miles per hour. So we're gonna sit here a couple hours and see who'll stroll by. Well, it's about 9:30 and we are going to wrap up the hunt here. Pretty slow hunt overall, but fun hunt. We ended up having 3 or 4 does behind us, 1 little buck, and then we had a couple does and a couple young bucks come out of the peninsula and work north through the pinch. Generally slow activity, which isn't, too surprising based on the conditions, but it's about to get good. So, at the beginning of the video, I mentioned going over sort of the look ahead, and we're starting to feel this front coming through, but the main bulk of the front's coming through tomorrow. Big wind switch happening, rain most of the day, and then Thursday's looking beautiful. That's October 31st, Halloween. Hard to have a better time of year in my mind to have such a massive cold front come through. And the extended forecast goes out to November 12th, and the weather looks great, for the first full 2 weeks of November, so the timing could not be better. We're transitioning from pre-rut into more full-blown rut, where more does are going to start coming into estrus, and yesterday we saw some of that first activity, really hard chasing. I had a buck, 4.5-year-old, tending a doe that I believe was an estrus. More aggressive behavior, just from bucks in general, more seeking, and that's just going to continue to increase. And when you get that high pressure, cool weather, it really helps them be more active in the daylight. I think when it's hot, they're more likely to do their stuff at night. So this weather front pattern is going to be pretty great to get them on their feet, get them in daylight, and hopefully get some of these mature bucks coming in front of our stand. So if you guys are getting out, I wish you luck, and hope you guys have some good hunting in the coming week.